Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. So today we are going to cover another lesson. We have here expressing concession. Okay, so we are going to cover this lesson. To cover different linking words, we have although, even though, though, in spite of, and despite. Okay, this is the thing that we have in this video. Okay, so expressing concession, when we are going to use it, okay, we use it if you want to express about two opposing ideas. Okay, we have two ideas are like opposing or contrasting. Okay, so like we say in Arabic, جوج الأفكار كيكونوا متقابلتين. Okay, فكرتين متقابلتين. Okay, and we will try to combine these sentences. Okay, كنحاولوا نجمعوا بين هاد جوج ديال الجمل. Okay, we can say بين جوج هاد ideas يعني بين جوج هاد الفكرات etc. Okay, so we are going to cover different linking words. We have although, even though, and though. Okay, we say in Arabic بالرغم. Okay, so بالرغم. Okay, so although, even though, or though means بالرغم. All these linking words, they have the meaning in Arabic بالرغم. Okay, so we have although, even though, and though, and we are going to cover here the grammatical structure, the rule. Okay, what are the things that are like although and even though or though must follow. Okay, so we have here, so when we have although or even though or though, you have to put the subject, okay, the subject plus the verb. Okay, the subject and the verb. Okay, like in this example that we have here, we say here, although she doesn't enjoy her work, she works hard. Okay, so although she doesn't enjoy her work, she works hard. So we have here although, this is the subject. Okay, يعني هذا هو subject. يعني القاعدة تتقول لنا إذا كانت عندي although okay ولا even though ولا though خصني ندير هاد القاعدة subject plus the verb. Okay, subject and the verb. And this is the thing we have here. عندنا although she doesn't enjoy. Okay, we have she doesn't enjoy is the verb. Okay, so we have although she doesn't enjoy her work, she works hard. Okay, so or for example we have even though the linking word even though the exam was easy, I failed. Okay, even though the exam was easy, I failed. So here we have the link even though, and we have here the exam is the subject. Okay, the exam is the subject, and we have the verb was. Okay, the verb to be in the past. Okay, was يعني هذا the verb to be in the past. Either we say was or were. Okay, was or were. So we have the subject and this is the verb. Okay, even though the exam was easy, I failed. يعني بالرغم هذاك الامتحان كان سهل أنا ما نجحتش. Okay, I failed. Okay, so even though the exam was easy, I failed. So when we have although or even though or though, we have to put the subject and the verb after. Okay, we are going to put although and we have so although must be followed by the subject and the verb. The subject and the verb like we have in this example. Okay, so this is the first part. So the second part we have in spite of. Okay, so when we have in spite of, it's not like the same, even they have the same function. Okay, even they have the same function, so the grammatical structure is going to change. Okay, so we have in spite of. So when we have either it's followed by verb and ing form means gerund, or we have to put a noun, or we are going to say the fact that. Okay, so these are the thing that in spite of must be followed by. So we have, like in the example, we have in spite of, we have verb and ing form. In spite of, this is linking word, and this is the gerund, the verb and ing. Okay, in spite of feeling bad. Okay, in spite of feeling bad, I cared on working. Okay, in spite of feeling bad, we have verb and ing form. Okay, the verb and ing form. In spite of feeling bad, I cared on working. Okay, يعني بالرغم الشعور ديالي خايب. Okay, so I cared on working. يعني استمرت في العمل ديالي. Okay, so this is the first thing. The second thing we have, in spite of, is followed by a noun. Okay, so we have to put a noun, either ing form or a noun. Like in this example, we have in spite of the rain. In spite of the rain. This is a noun. Okay, this is a noun. Okay, in spite of the rain, we went out for a walk. Okay, in spite of the rain, we went out for a walk. Okay, بالرغم كانها كانت الامطار خرجنا كنتمشاو. So we have in spite of the rain, we went out for a walk. Okay, so then we have, sometimes we are going to use in spite of the fact that. Okay, in spite of the fact that, like in the example that we have here, in spite of the fact that he is. So in spite of the fact that he is still a child, he is very intelligent. Okay, in spite of the fact that he is still a child, he is very intelligent. Okay, so when we have in spite of, either we have to put a verb and ing form, means gerund. Okay, or we have to put a noun. Okay, or we have to put the fact that. Okay, the fact that. Good. Okay, so we move to the other linking word. Okay, the other linking word that we have here, despite. Okay, we have despite, and despite is followed either by verb and ing form or a noun, or also it's followed also by the fact that. Okay, so in spite of and despite have the same grammatical structure. Okay, يعني عندهم نفس القاعدة. Okay, the same. Okay, so we have despite being late. Okay, here despite being, verb and ing form, verb to be plus an ing form that we have here. Despite being late, they didn't hurry. Despite being late, they didn't hurry. Okay, so or we have to put a noun, despite plus a noun. Okay, so like in the example that we have here, despite the danger. Okay, the danger here, the danger is a noun. Okay, the danger is a noun. Despite the danger, he was calm. Okay, despite the danger, he was calm. Okay, this is the thing that we have. So we are going to recapitulate quickly. So the rules that we have here, although, even though, and though, are followed by the subject and the verb. If you want to combine two sentences, you have to pay attention to the grammatical structure. يعني إذا كنا بغينا نجمعوا واحد جوج ديال الجمل, we have to pay attention to the grammatical structure. خصنا نردوا البال للقاعدة. Okay, the rule that we have here, subject and the verb. Whenever you find although, even though, so must be followed by subject and the verb. Although she doesn't enjoy. Okay, subject she, and doesn't enjoy means the verb. So here we have, even though the exam was easy, so I failed. So we have the exam is the subject and was is the verb. Okay, good. So sometimes we have in spite of. We have in spite of is followed by gerund, means verb and ing form, or a noun, or the fact that. Okay, so in spite of feeling bad, I cared working. Okay, we can say in spite of the rain, we went out for a walk. Good. Sometimes we have despite. Okay, so we are going to find despite. Despite is followed by verb and ing form. Okay, verb and ing form means gerund. Despite being late, they didn't hurry. or despite the danger, he was calm. Okay, so this is the lesson. So it's not that difficult, it's very easy. So just we have to memorize the rule, okay, and then you are going to combine like two contrast sentences or two opposing sentences. Okay, so right now we are going to move to some exercises, okay, how we are going to link between two sentences using these linking words. And we have an exercise. So in this exercise we are going to know how we should combine between two sentences using the linking word of expressing concession. Although, even though, despite, or in spite of, although. When we have although or even though, although are followed by the subject and the verb, okay, the subject and the verb. But when we have in spite of or despite, either you have to put the verb in ing form, means in gerund, or you have to put the noun, okay, or you can say despite the fact that, or in spite of the fact that. So we are going to cover an example. So here we have Hassan smokes, he seems to be in a good health. We have two sentences and we have although. So what are you going to write? You have to write although Hassan smokes. So although Hassan smokes, what do we have? We have although it's followed by the subject. This is the subject. Hassan is the subject and smokes is the verb. Although Hassan smokes, he seems to be in a good health. Okay, he seems to be in a good health. So then we have the second sentence. Okay, I couldn't sleep, I was tired. And we have despite. Despite is followed by the verb plus ing form or a noun, okay, or the fact that. So we have here, we can say despite, okay, being tired, despite being tired, okay. And here we have why we put being tired, because we had the verb to be here, was, despite being tired, okay, despite being tired, I couldn't sleep. Or we can say I couldn't sleep despite being tired, no problem. So we can say I couldn't sleep despite being tired, okay, good. Also in this sentence we can say although Hassan smokes, he seems to be in a good health, okay. Or we can say Hassan seems to be in a good health although he smokes, okay. So both of them are correct, okay. So we need just to keep the grammatical structure of the sentence. يعني واخا نبدلوا الوضعيه ديال الجمله، اوكي. سو خصنا نركزوا على the rule، القاعده تتقول لنا الا كانت عندي although ولا even though، اوكي. سو شنو كيتبعهم؟ subject and the verb، subject and the verb. But when we have despite، so خصني نرد البال، okay. So we have they are followed by verb ing form or a noun or despite the fact that. Good. Another example we have here, I have attended computer courses for a year, okay, but I can't use it properly, okay. I have attended computer courses for a year, but I can't use it properly. We have the linking word even though, okay. So what I'm going to say here, even though is followed by subject and the verb. يعني even though القاعدة اللي كتقول لنا خصنا نديرو subject and the verb. We can say even though I have attended, okay, I have I have attended computer, so computer courses, okay, computer courses. I can't use it properly, okay, I can't use it properly. Okay, good. So but here we are going to remove this conjunction. Okay, so we have although I have attended. So we have here although is followed by the subject. Okay, this is the subject. Okay, good. And have is the verb. The verb. Okay, so even though I have attended computer courses, I can't use it properly. Good. This is the thing that we have in this list. Okay, it's very easy. You have just to memorize the rules. Okay, what are the rules that we have to do if you have like although, even though, and though? Okay, to put the subject and the verb. But if we have in spite of or despite, you need to put verb ing form or a noun or the fact that. Good. So I hope this video or this lesson gonna be helpful for you, and thank you so much. Thank you.